welcome back to Hearts of Iron. One day has passed. It is September 1939. And the whole front is erupting in combat. You got planes, you got air combat, you got everything, right? Yep, over here as well. Good. And everyone has an objective in the short term, at least, as you could see, including planes and boats. And one last time, do not send boats to the Atlantic or North Sea until France has fallen. Your Angus will get peppered, I promise. Good. Yes, one day has passed, but before I keep going, I want to just explain how I plan on presenting the rest of this series, because I'm not just going to press play and show you my times 1 times 2 times 3 speed, which is very slow. That's boring. I would never watch that. I'm not going to waste your time with that either. But what I will do is show you pivots. I will show you key moments. I will show you some decisions that are being made, maybe plans change, and that sort of thing. I find that far more interesting as a viewer, and I think it's just better for this style of game, you know? This is a strategy game first and foremost. It's not necessarily an action game. Things move slowly, and I think it's better and more interesting from a viewer perspective to simply be on the strategic point of view angle. Good. Now, that being said, I'm gonna do the opposite here for a bit. Why is my IC messed up, by the way? Do I just have extra IC that I'm not... Okay, well, how's that even possible? Oh, yeah, because I just finished... yeah, I'm kind of being loopy here. Yes, I have a new division, and this is gonna come, I guess, over here, just in case something bad happens. I'll make a new HQ core. I will put a wizard, again, a wizard. This is actually probably... who do I have left? Is that really it? Now, what you could do real fast, I'm kind of getting off topic because I'm getting distracted, but this is some real gameplay happening. What you want to do is uncheck everything and look for wizards. Look for wizards, right? So obviously, I'm going to pick this dummy right here. In the meantime, I'll get new guys January 1st of next year, which is kind of soon. So I'll just pick this guy, and then you put him on the Palace army over here, right? Good. And that's how you do that. Very simple. And then you pick a leader. Take some time to get some org up. This is also a reserve that popped out, which means that I need to wait probably anyway. But now, because I want an offense doctrine guy from last video I mentioned, I come over here. I look for really anyone. Maybe you pick someone lower with better traits. Okay, I lied. Everyone only has gold guard. You don't want that, really. I'll just pick some dummy like this, and now I will prioritize it for upgrades since it is an armor division. Now, that was not planned. I wasn't planning on doing all that. Where was I? Yeah, so I'm not going to show you... Yeah, what I will do is show you this right now. Distracted here. I want to unpause the game, right? I want to unpause the game. I see. Good enough. Good. I want to show you Danzig specifically, and there's a reason. The reason is because, yes, I will be kicking out their navy, and I'll show you the naval battle, but also because there is an effect. There's a button down here called Strategic Effects, and you pop it open right here. And these are extra bonuses that you get for quote-unquote doing well and going after historical objectives. Maybe things that just make sense from a logistical standpoint. For example, taking Gibraltar, you get some stuff. Taking the Gulf of Finland, you get some stuff. In this case, you get the Polish corridor, you get some minor stuff. This screen is more important for maybe Soviet Union or Japan, definitely. Those two countries are maybe probably more important because Germany is just strong regardless. But yes, it is worth mentioning that there are goals you could go for if you're not sure what to do. In the meantime, take a look at this screen and just see if you could get any of them. Right. Now, Danzig, I want to do 2 things here. First, I want to show you the battle before you know, just leave on me. I have not really done anything yet. So I will show you the battle real fast. Everyone over here has stuff to do, so I don't really care. I'm just going to keep an eye on this for a second. Okay. Good. Let's see if my IC changes here. Hungary is mobilized. Okay. They don't have it yet. I'll get it like immediately in a second. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Do I have my aircraft doing stuff over here? Oh, wow. Where is that? They got shot up somewhere. Interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I thought, okay, so what I'm going to have to do here is change my fighters from superiority to just intercept. I thought I could get away with superiority, but I can't. I'm not really going to explain. That's not important. Just try both. Good enough. So I'll begin Danzig here. I'll be fighting their navy, hopefully in a second. Navs, where are they? They're just going back and forth. That's fine. Danzig Bay. There is Shore Bombardment. I should have mentioned it. It's in Hearts of Iron 4 as well. It's kind of similar. Hearts of Iron 4, it's just like heavy guns determine... I don't know. Same thing in Hearts of Iron 3. I think all capital ships, maybe destroyers as well. Let me just double check down here. Shore Bombardment. Okay, yes. So screens won't have Shore Bombardment. Interesting. So light cruisers do, but destroyers don't. What you want are just battleships and big ships to give you Shore Bombardment. That's just a combat modifier. You probably can't see here because this is not a ocean port. That's all right. So yes. Yes, there it is. Polish Corridor. That is from this screen, right? Good. Large fuel tank is done as well. And here's naval battle. Now the battle, I will show you some combat modifiers. This is the next part I want to talk about. It's how combat works. And I won't try to waste your time. Okay, this is actually going really well. Yes. These guys are actually completely AFK. So I could actually encircle some stuff right here if I want to. It's going to happen regardless, I guess. But yes, the combat. Now the first big thing is I am playing on very hard. So if I come over here, there is like a Rubik's Cube, right? That just means if I show you the difficulty, there's a penalty of 40%. Kind of big, especially once you get into stiff combat in swamps and mountain ranges. It gets nasty very quickly. Yes, I can't click. I cannot click. Over here, nothing has changed. I'm just making sure I didn't lose any tiles. Okay. Good. Yes, now combat. Now, the most important part is actually the terrain, probably. It's probably not, actually. The most important part is actually going to be the commanders and the tactics and the experience on divisions, but terrain is absolutely important as well. Now, I mentioned multiple times. For example, SS divisions have bonus attack. Where are they? They're over here already? Yeah, they're so fast. They're 8 kilometers an hour, right there. Urban attack plus 20%. However, if you attack urban regardless, it's minus 40%. So the point is, if you ever go attack anything or fight in anything that is not planes, because planes is neutral, you will always have some kind of attacker penalty, no matter who it is. Good. Speaking of that, rivers as well. I guess you could mention that, right? Rivers as well. Terrain is important. It's not that important yet, but once you start fighting an actual military, it will be, so... Next, yes, so terrain is a big deal. Now, experience, something worth mentioning is that you could have a Pride of the Fleet, which is usually a capital ship, like a battleship or a, battlecruiser, right? For some reason, there's like a bug in this game, and everyone knows about it. Your Pride of the Fleet gets experience way faster than everything else. Like, he's going to be at experience cap after, like, one battle. It's kind of like a bug, but yes, experience is a one-to-one multiplier on bonus combat efficiency. So 500% experience, which is the max, like in Hearts of Iron 4, I believe, you just get double combat effectiveness, which is insane. Make a Pride of the Fleet always if you're going to do that. And here's the battle. Let me just make sure. So I have another. Okay, I'll put this over here for now. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 ports. So I have one. Yeah, I'll put it over here for now. And again, I'll pick some dummy. In this case, you want Battle Masters probably because there's not enough combat to really let garrisons get that naturally. So I just go for Battle Masters. And that should be good for that. Good. Next, where was I? Oh, yes. Let's see. What is this? I'm kind of playing the game while I'm talking, which is good and bad because I'm kind of getting distracted. That's good for there. Right? Good. Yes. So where was I? I'll just watch this battle real fast and maybe I'll sink something. Oh, let's be honest. I probably will. Oh, I sunk one thing, two thing. And now what you could do is you can see the arrow. If you have good enough intelligence, then that's probably a result of both decryption and I don't know. It's also probably a result of this guy right here, naval intelligence plus 10%. So I could see where he's going and I could just chase him down. And at this point, that's fine. So I could also go like this. That's fine as well. Yes, so combat, the biggest things are experience, the difficulty, the terrain, and then there are tactics. Now this is where it gets complicated. A combination of officer ratio being higher than your opponent, as well as having higher skilled commanders at the divisional level down here, just lets you pick better tactics. Now, what are tactics? They are in Hearts of Iron 4. I don't think so, actually. I think the doctrines are the land doctrines, but this entire technology screen right here is just a bunch of doctrines. And for example, this one has, see right here, this has ambush 12 plus 12% chance. That is a doctrine. For example, over here you have Blitz and Masterful Blitz. So they just give you bonus stuff in combat. If I can find one, I'll show you. Yeah, so Assault, it says you get bonus attacker damage. Defend gets almost nothing. This is the default, right? So I'm getting bonus damage. Maybe down here I could find something more interesting. That's assault, attack, defend. So yes, you want good... Again, I mentioned this in last episode, but I didn't really mention it in this context, is you want your best guy at the army group level for supply consumption reduction, and then you want all your other best guys right here at the very bottom with your tank divisions, getting you all these insane modifiers in combat of the doctrines. The tactics from the doctrines. Yes, that's also why this is important, because you just get a higher chance of getting good tactics picked in combat, but it's more than that, because if you have higher officer ratio and higher skill levels, you will also be countering them. I wish I could find one, but oh yes, see, it says here, it says countered by and counters. So you will be outpicking tactics. I got interrupted, but I am back. Yes, anyways, if you are in combat with a division, you can pierce each other, or one can pierce, or none can pierce. It is mutually exclusive. Therefore, just always worry about yourself, right? So what you want to do is make sure you're always up to date on your medium tank guns for medium armor. If you're using anti-tanks and tank destroyers, you know, it's this one over here, piercing right here. So yes, piercing is a big deal, because if you can't pierce, you do half damage. That is a very big deal, more on the Eastern Front, for sure, than it is, you know, with Poland. For example, over here, their piercing is 6. My armor over here is actually 5, so I'm kind of dumb. I should put my bigger armor down here. So 6, 5. My bigger tanks have 7 armor. So therefore, down here, I could completely negate that anti-tank with my mediums. But because I'm dumb and I have my light armor down here, I am getting pierced for full damage. But that's alright. I'm doing full damage back because I'm piercing them as well. They have an armor rating of 0. I have piercing of 5. So yeah, that's how it works. Very simple. So to sum it up, you have terrain. The big stuff, right? You have terrain. You have doctrine or tactics. You have experience. Skill level, again, on the divisional level, there is the skill level determines combat efficiency directly. I forget on the exact percentage. Maybe it'll show me. I don't know. There's also things called combined arms. It just means that your divisions are built well and they have more than just like pure infantry and pure armor like this. And that's a little bonus there as well. And lastly, experience? Is that what I missed? I don't know. I already mentioned them all, so yes. Good. That being said, I think combat is straightforward, and that includes air combat. If I could find an air battle, hostile bombing. No. Well, trust me, it's like that for other modes of combat, including air combat. Now, it's nasty and very hard because there are stacking penalties. I'm not going to get into that. It's 10% stacking penalty per additional wing, I believe, and also for boats, it's a little bit different because you start getting complicated with traits, and yeah, it's not that important. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm probably just going to skip forward starting now at this point. I've showed you some stuff. Let me just keep going. Oh, one thing I should mention, keep an eye on your resources starting now at this point in the game. Again, if you need to trade with the Soviet Union because they are on your continent and they have a lot of stuff. So I will take a quick gander at this. So I might get some stuff stockpiled, but I'm losing cash as well. It's going to get nasty, so... Yes. What was this? These guys are already dead, so who cares? And they're gone. And that's it for that. I think that's just a dead... Oh, yeah. One more thing before I completely move on. If you're in naval combat and your entire fleet gets wiped out, your guy dies. You lose him. So, for example, if I send out this submarine flotilla thing and it gets sunk, I lose Frick permanently from the game. He's just gone. He dies with his boats. It was kind of weird because I think this represents like a wolf pack in and of itself. Therefore, yeah, this is like 20 subs or 10 subs. Who knows what this represents in real life, but kind of weird. But that's just how it is. So yes. And there are strategies for this actually to not lose everything. You want to stay in groups smaller than 2 or 3. 1 is kind of risky because if it gets sunk, it's over. If you go stacks of 2, it's just better because you have a much higher chance of having your important guy. Like this case, you don't want him to die. This is like one of the best guys. He probably is the best guy for Germany. So stack of 2 is very nice. It is like a day or two further into the game, and there was a pop-up I clicked through quickly without thinking called the Fate of France. All it does is create Vichy France down here, and I will tell you in case you don't get the pop-up, because the pop-up is not guaranteed, which is why I was surprised to click through it. Yes, the pop-up is very random, it seems. It's not 100% proper, but yes, if it does not pop up and you want to create Vichy France, all you do is you add war goal like this, and right now it's grayed out because it's already added recently. But assuming the UK was France, you click it and you click add war goal and it should be right there. And again, you double check it to see if it's on by clicking war goals. And for example, in Poland's case, when you do Danzig or war, which is a button down here to click, it default adds 2 war goals, which is retake our cores and then conquer. It is just 1 week into the war, and I want to show you how overpowered Germany actually is and why you shouldn't be afraid to try the harder difficulties. This is an absolute rout, like this is ridiculous. I just have more divisions than them, even on very... Oops, wrong button. More divisions than them, even on very hard. They are already gone, so I'm not going to show you this probably again until Warsaw is down. What is this? I think what happened here is I chased airplanes back into that airbase. That's definitely what happened here. So I fought them, I won, and I chased them back into Warsaw. Yeah, they have tax right there, it looks like. What is worth mentioning, before I move on too far, is if you come to air map mode, you can see that I was getting strap bombed over here in Dortmund, and they were successful. They bombed my IC out, and I do have to wait a bit for that. But what is interesting is that I fought them off with my interceptors. Are they actually in Dortmund? I can't see. No, they're down here in Cologne probably, or perhaps in Hanover. Now, what would happen is I'll be losing national unity if they were successful and not counter intercepted, but they were. So I actually have a bonus in the meantime from that effect, as you could see on top there. So yes, just keep an eye on the strap bombing, even on very hard. Even with all these fighters, yeah, I can see all these little battles, but the big one over here was definitely right here. Exactly 2 weeks, this might be the end already. This is Warsaw, it's completely enveloped, and there it is. There it is, okay. Now what did happen in the meantime was I see Belgium join the Allies down here. I'm not sure if I should be scared, I don't think so. I do have level 1 forts around here, and it's also nasty terrain, it's forest. So they probably will not attack. So maybe I should rotate this up a little bit like this, but we'll worry about that later. So yes, I got my cores back on Poland. These are cores because there's no lines. Occupation are the lines, right? Now, anything worth saying down here? Okay, so next episode I'll talk about the occupation laws, and I'll show you the 2 big strategies that you may not be aware of, because it is more complicated than just taking it over and leaving it alone.